It's Monday, the 4th of March, 2024, and this is just to log the last ceremonies of the end of my journey, which was finished last night with ceremony 69. There's no point talking about ceremonies 67 and 68 because they were just dieta. The first one opening a few weeks ago, and feeling mixed kind of sadness as well as relief and prideful, very proud of myself for the journey that I've undertaken over the last 2.5 years. But you know, I didn't come here with the intention of being a shaman, but I wanted to just put the final piece of the jigsaw with an attempt at the 3-month dieta when Maestro offered it to me. But when I got here, after about a week or two, he said that I'd need at least 2 more 3-month dietas. And Griff, who's in his 2nd month here, is really going through it. But he's so dedicated and just so strength of character and will. And I'm too old. I knew I was too old. It takes years because it's not just the initial dietas. You'd have to continue to do other shorter ones to connect yourself with the plants, to build your plant army and stuff. But I found where my limitations lay, and an aspect of my mind when it comes to meditating, which has been really beneficial. I really learned when I had to get kicked up the arse, with Griff as an example, after the 2nd week of settling in, I actually started meditating a lot, and I think the most I did was maybe 3 hours, 3.5 hours on some days, and it's just really interesting to get over the 20-minute hurdle, which it is for me, before your brain settles into a different brainwave pattern. But yesterday when I meditated, I actually saw 3 consecutive very short visions. So in only 2 weeks I went from a sort of meditative noodler really for the last 2 years, just taking some rapé and lying down for 10-20 minutes, half an hour, and just trying to count and let the thoughts go. But here I really had to kick myself up the arse if I was going to even make a go of it. But unfortunately, a frog, which caused Griff the same aggravation when I first got here, just all day and all night, right outside the hut, and it literally drove me bonkers. I just couldn't function because I couldn't get away from the continuous and I couldn't meditate through it, and it just got so frustrating. And then yesterday morning, 2 days ago, I started I nearly, because of that, I really kind of lost the plot a bit, and I was really annoyed and just fuck off with everything. And so I stewed on that. Griff had a chat with me, and then we played some guitar, and I felt better. But as he went through the same thing and talking about how he tuned it out with sewing, which is what all those Icaro patterns are partly for, which was really interesting. All the nice embroidery that the Shipibo do, and other tribes probably, it's actually to focus concentration. There's a reason for it, not just to make pretty materials and dresses and stuff. So but I didn't get hold of any of that stuff, and I was literally just then had to make meditation the primary goal, and I was really pleased because once I did get on with it, I got really far very quickly. So I'm going to continue that for sure, especially now that I actually had a vision, which I was told 3 years ago by a girl I met who was a very accomplished meditator, and she glowed, you could tell. And she told me that you can have visions with meditation, and just briefly I actually had them, and it was really quite like your normal vision with your eyes shut, really bright. And it didn't really make sense. It was just like looking at a tablet with text on it, but couldn't see what the text was, and it was really, really bright, like as if it was a real tablet. It was really strange. And a couple of other little ones that I can't really remember, right in immediate succession. But basically, all I wanted to talk about last night was Maestro breaking. When he arrived in the evening yesterday, I said to him, Maestro, can you break my diet tonight? I've decided I want to go. I want to leave, go to Vietnam or wherever. And so I said, yeah, sure. And then the last few ceremonies here have been very different. The ayahuasca's hit me in 20 minutes. So I've gone from 2 hours at the retreats to hitting me in 20 minutes. And it was so strong. And those big octopuses, griffcals, and the fear demons. Oh, yeah, those big octopus things. As soon as it hit you, really powerful visions of those things. And they literally scare your body into adrenaline, and really powerful. It's like very powerful experience. But I only had half a cup. Maestro said, you don't want too much. So I said, no, I don't want a heavy one. If possible, we spoke later about leaving today, but it's not possible to get the boats today. The water in various places is up to people's chests. But he said, we'll leave at 6 in the morning tomorrow. So I've got the day to kill here. So I've been packing and whatnot. And but basically, the interesting part of last night's ceremony was when he actually broke the diet. Because Griffith said to me earlier in the day that he's getting frustrated that he can't feel energy in the plants. And I've never felt energy of them when I've done dietas, but mine weren't never done properly. And I didn't know how much you had to meditate on the plants. No one ever explained it to me. So I was just drink and then just do my own thing. And you should be meditating on the plants all the time if you're serious about dieta. The short 2-week ones. A lizard comes to visit. And the bigger ones sometimes. Got a really big one that comes in. It's about nearly 2 feet long, beautiful, green with brown head and shoulders. It's wonderful. But anyway, when it came to break the diet last night, he came over to me and he said, "Are you in visions?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Right, concentrate on those visions." And then he sang me the Ikaro to break the diet. And it was really quite strange. I could see like energy attached to my chest, and then it pulled away. It like just came away, and there was a palpable feeling of pressure relief, not in a physical sense, in the spiritual, mental sense. So that alleviates any kind of thought that just if you go on a dieta and you don't think you're feeling anything, that's normal. But you are connected. Obviously, the Maestro has connected you, but you don't feel it. But you feel them if he breaks it and he pulls them off you. So that was really interesting. So anyway, it's a new chapter. I'm going to go back to Pucalpa tomorrow, and then start looking at flights as soon as possible. I'm not going to go back to Iquitos and see anyone, because it's flight back the opposite direction, plus it's money now, and really start to get got to be careful with money now. And then look at flights to either Thailand or Vietnam, and then fly to Lima, which is only half an hour from Pucallpa, which is great. So I don't want to. But the other main thing about not going back to Iquitos is I'm so clean now, and there's so many dark energies in Iquitos where there aren't in Pucallpa. And I want to stay clean as possible before traveling. I just don't. Iquitos is really bad news for bad energy. Horrible, really. Horrible place. If I'd have known what I know now, I'd never have gone to Iquitos. Probably if I'd have met Maestro 3 years ago, I'd have saved a fortune and just stayed with him and come to Pucallpa. But anyway, so it's going to be 2 months more, and it will be a year since I left the UK. In May last year, arrived in Peru again for the second time. And I've just done 10 months, and that was the other thing that I became really aware of. And it literally, once I'd made the decision, I just went, I don't care. I just can't be thought. I'm not doing this. And dropped out of it. And it was like I was being made to do it. Just bang. Like, as if the plants were saying, you're not up to this. And definitely not. Not at my age. And also, I just completed 10 months of more or less continuous ayahuasca. with Lighthouse, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 2 weeks on for first 5 months or 5 or 6 months. And then in Bolivia, 3 months where I did a retreat, and then came back to Lighthouse again in the January, did another 2-week retreat. So these 69's an odd yin-yang number to finish on, so that's quite happy with that. And it's very sad. I really missed Mama last night. I was tearful. Thinking about all the conversations we've had, and of course, that connection, although it wasn't very strong, I didn't get a very good connection with her last night to even have a sort of proper conversation to leave on, really. But I didn't want a strong ceremony. I didn't want to be feeling rough like the last one the next day, because if it was possible that we were leaving. But I had a nice time. But Griff had it really tough on. They had full cups, only had half a cup. Him and Maestro had full cups. Griff didn't sleep at all, and he's been just zombified today and trying to continue his work. So anyway, it's a new chapter now. Back to drifting, I suppose, and go and see Asia. Well, because I think 2024 is going to be, obviously lots going to happen in 2024, may even chaos, possibly, banks, everything. So international travel may be hit, so while it's possible, I'm just going to go and see that area of the world that I have never seen yet, Vietnam and Thailand, and we'll just see what happens. Can't ever go back to the UK. There's nothing there for me. Lizards back down on the floor. So cute. So anyway, that's that end of major chapter in life. So it's March, so all of March, April, May, June, July, August, 6 months. It's 2.5 years since I started this journey. And I've got a lot to remember, and as well as probably another 10 months of integration like last time. I've done a lot of plant medicine to do without breaks. So, but it's kind of a massive relief that my journey's over, but it's also obviously tinged with a lot of sadness when I leave Peru. Because although I've had a love-hate relationship with the place, Quitos especially, it's been a massive part of my life and absolutely life-changing. I've met some wonderful people. And I'd love to have gone back to Lighthouse to say goodbye to everybody, but it's just not worth the money. For another 500 Soleil flight there and then back to Lima and stuff. And of course, the flight to London was last night, which of course I didn't take, my return flight to the UK from last year, but I won't get a refund for that anyway. So it's yet more money. And of course I'd already paid Maestro the $2,000 for, which I should have I'd only given him some money to see how far, which was the original plan, to see how far I could actually handle the dieta, so that I didn't pay 3 months, because obviously it's really difficult to ask for money back. You just got to write it off, really, and just think of it as going towards the good cause, which is building his Maloka and continuing his work. He's such a wonderful guy. He's an absolutely great guy and a fantastic shaman, best I've had. Really is. But anyway, I'll leave it at that, and sadly put an end to the ayahuasca videos. Up to 69. Very proud.